Hello students, in our previous video we did about force, and under this we covered these topics: moment of force, its definition, formula of moment of force, that is also known as torque, that is F into D, that is force into distance. And which distance we talked about here? Suppose this is a bar, it is fixed at this point is the pivot point of the bar. If we apply force over here, so this is known as line of action of force, means line along which the force is acting onto the body. So this is line of action of force, this is F, and the distance between the pivot point and line of action of force is taken over here. This is the distance we are talking about here. Okay, then we learnt about the SI unit of torque, that is Newton meter. We also learnt about types of moment of force, that is clockwise and anti-clockwise moment of force. The force which produces clockwise turning effect, that is known as clockwise moment of force. The force which produces anti-clockwise moment in the object, that is known as anti-clockwise moment of force. Okay. We have also learned about the signs of clockwise and anti-clockwise moment of force. Anti-clockwise is always taken as positive and clockwise is always taken as negative. Then now today we are starting with factors affecting turning of a body, means factors affecting moment of force. We will start with this formula to continue with the topic. As we are aware, torque is equal to force into distance. That means from here we conclude that torque is directly proportional to the force applied on the object. This is first thing, means if we apply more amount of force, more will be the turning effect. Second thing, we can talk that turning effect or the torque is directly proportional to the distance. Which distance I am talking about here? This distance. More will be the distance, more will be the turning effect. So these are the basically two factors which affect the turning of a body, or which affect moment of force, or which affect torque. Anything you can write down. More will be the force, more will be the turning effect, more will be the distance at which the force is applied from the pivot point, more will be the turning effect. Let's explain all these factors, or you can say let's understand these factors, how are they affecting turning of a body in detail with the help of few examples. I'll start with one of the example, that is to open or shut a door. First example I am talking about, to open or shut the door. As we all are aware, to open or shut the door, we need to apply force onto the handle of the door. If this is the handle, we have to apply force onto the handle to open or shut the door, and this end where the hinges are provided, this we are considering as pivot point of this, because from this end the door is fixed and this is the free end of the door, and we have to apply force at the handle to open or shut the door. That means this force is applied at a particular distance from the pivot point, from the hinges. This force and this distance in turn gives a turning effect to the door, and hence we are able to open or shut the door. But sometimes you may also observe, if you are applying force not onto the handle, in between somewhere at the door, suppose you are applying force over here, so maybe you have observed that you need to apply more amount of force as compared the force you applied over here to open or shut the door. Why this happens? What is the reason for this? The reason for this is, to create the turning effect, a minimum value is required. Say that is 50 Newton meter, means I am saying suppose the force which I am applying, that is 10 Newton, and the distance over here, that is 5 meter. So in total torque will be 10 into 5, and I am saying this is the minimum value which is required to open or shut the door, to produce the turning effect in the door. Then what will happen if I will apply force over here? If I will reduce the distance, suppose I am applying force now at this point at 2 meters, not at this point where the handle is provided. Now I am applying force at this point. Now what will happen? According to me, now this is force. Earlier I applied, I don't know what is the value of force now, but the distance at which I am applying the force, that is 2 meter now. And how much turning effect I need to turn the door. I told you, say this is the minimum turning effect which is required to open or close the door. Means इतना force तो इतना effect तो हमें चाहिए door को बंद या खोलने के लिए. So the minimum which I required, that is 50 Newton meter. I don't know how much force I need to apply, and at the distance at which I am applying the force, that is known to me, that is 2 meters. That means the force which I need is 25 newtons now. From this example, I believe it is very much clear to each one of you. You are able to understand that means if I am applying force at 2 meters, I need more amount of force to create this much turning effect. But if I am applying force at 5 meters, I need a less amount of force, that is 10 newtons, to create same turning effect. Is that okay? That means if we are decreasing the distance, the amount of force applied to create the same amount of turning effect will be more. If I am increasing the distance, the amount of force applied will be less. That's why in maximum of the things, when you will notice in your day-to-day life, the handles are provided at the extreme ends from the pivot point, as in the example of door. We can talk about one more example, that is hand floor grinder. That is made up of stone. Some of you may have seen it in your actual life, some of you may have seen it in the TV serials or movies only. Okay, that is hand floor grinder, that is circular in shape. This is a stone, this is the center part of the hand floor grinder, and at the center part of the hand floor grinder, iron part is fitted, and from here this is pivoted. Means this is the pivot point of your hand floor grinder, and at the extreme end from this pivot point, somewhat here, at the extreme end, handle is provided this way, and then the person used to hold the handle and move it this way to grind the floor. Why handle is provided at the extreme end? So that the distance increases from the pivot point and the person needs to apply less amount of force to create a particular amount of turning effect. If this handle is provided over here, then what will happen? Then the distance decreases. If the distance decreases, the amount of force applied will be increased to create a particular amount of turning effect. That means the person need to apply more amount of force, and person feels very inefficient to apply the force. Maybe means after 1 or 2 times वो उसको लगता है कि it's too much, now I cannot apply the force, I cannot grind the floor. That's why the handle is provided at the extreme end. We can discuss one more example, that is steering of car. In the steering of car, what we are doing? We are applying force. This is the center part. This is the part from where the steering is pivoted, and the person is applying force at the rim of the steering, at the extreme ends. Sometimes we are applying force as per the requirement in which direction we need to turn the vehicle. If we are applying force here, it is able to turn the vehicle in this direction. Means this is what? This is your anti-clockwise direction. If I am applying force over here, it is able to turn the vehicle in clockwise direction. So depending on the direction in which I need to turn the tires of the vehicle, I will apply the force at 2 different points. But in this case, we need to take care that we will apply the force at the rim, so that less amount of force is required, as the distance is maximum in this case from the pivot point. If you will start applying force here or somewhat some other point, then you need to apply more amount of force, because the distance from the pivot point decreases, and when the distance decreases, to create a particular amount of turning effect, you need to apply more amount of force. One more thing, beta, when we are applying force at a particular point, it's not necessary that this force is always creating one kind of motion. It depends on the direction of force, the force which we applied, in which direction we applied the force. Say this is point A and I am applying force in this direction. At this time, when I am applying force in this direction, the result will be anti-clockwise. If I will apply force at the same point but in the reverse direction, this way, then the result will be clockwise. Means by changing the direction of force at the same point, I can change the result of the force from clockwise to anti-clockwise and anti-clockwise to clockwise. In the same way, I can change this result by applying the force at two different points. Like if I am applying force at point A in this direction, the direction will remain this only, then the result will be anti-clockwise. Now if I will apply force in the same direction, the direction I'll take same, but if I am applying force now at point B, what will be the result? Result will be clockwise. That means by applying force in the same direction but at two different points, I can get two different kinds of result. So depending on the situation, as per the requirement, I will apply the force at same points in two different directions or at two different points in the same directions. Fine. One more example we can discuss, that is spanner, or you can say wrench. Many of you have seen it at your home. This is spanner or wrench, which is used to open the nuts. This is spanner. You have always noticed that spanner is always provided with a long handle. Again, this can be a question for your paper. Why spanners are provided with a long handle? And answer will be same. To produce a certain amount of turning effect, if distance is increased, less amount of force is applied. So to apply less amount of force, we are increasing the distance. But that doesn't mean कि आप उसको infinitely increase कर रहे हो. No, the distance will not be increased infinitely. It will be increased up to a certain level only. No such level is fixed, but that we need to take care कि for which purpose we are using it. How can we handle it properly? Okay, so if this is the nut, suppose this is the nut and this is the pivot point of the nut, and I will apply force over here. This is force and this is the distance from the pivot point. If I will apply force over here, I need to apply less amount of force because torque is equal to force into distance. So if distance is maximum, I need to apply less amount of force to create a certain amount of torque. Say always I need to create 50 Newton meter. Okay, always I need to turn it up to this amount, so 50 Newton meter. So what can I do? If this distance is 10 meters over here, so I need to apply only 5 Newton of force. If this distance is 10 meters, so I need to apply only 5 Newton of force. But if I will reduce the distance, suppose now I am applying force at this point and this distance is 5 meters only. So to get this much turning effect, how much force I need to apply? I need to apply, the distance now is 5 meters. So how much force I need to apply to get 50? That is 10 Newton. Means I need to apply double the force as that of previous condition if I am decreasing the distance to get a specific value for the turning effect. I believe all of you understand it very well, and rest you need to read out all the examples from your book so that you can understand how to write down a particular answer. Okay. Now from above examples we can conclude one thing, or we can write in short for all the questions. What can you write is, we can write beta, this conclusion is given in your book also. You can take it from here, this paragraph. I am writing it here on the blackboard. This is the sentence which gives you a clear-cut answer for your examination point of view. Means every time whenever they are going to ask you these kind of questions, why handles are provided at the extreme end, why spanners are provided with long handles, why we need to apply the force at the extreme end, you can write down this answer. Okay, what it says that the turning of a body about an axis depends on not only the magnitude of force but also the distance from the pivot point where the force is applied. more will be the distance from the pivot point. Less will be the force required to produce a certain amount of turning effect. In the body. This same you can write down for all the questions and you'll get full marks. Suppose they are asking you for the spanner, why the spanners are provided with long handles. So you can write down to reduce the amount of force applied onto the spanner. The spanners are provided with the long handles, and the turning effect of a body about an axis depends not only the magnitude of the force but also the distance from the pivot point where the force is applied. More will be the distance, that's why the spanners are provided with longer handles. From the pivot point, less will be the force required to produce a certain amount of turning effect in the body. Same language you can use. You need to just fit in the sentence of the question in your this statement and you will get the full marks for these kind of questions. Now next thing which we need to discuss is, that is another concept of this chapter, that is couple. Now when we are talking about turning effect of a body, but if you will observe it carefully, you all are able to understand that only one force is not able to create any kind of turning effect. I'll take the same example. Suppose this is the rod and this is pivoted at this point. Okay, if I'll keep on applying force over here, if not even a single force is applied over here, this only force is not able to create the turning effect. This force is able to create the turning effect because some reaction force is provided by this pivot point. Some reaction force is provided by this pivot point to this force. As a result, this particular bar is able to rotate around its pivot point. I can make you understand this way also. This is a pin. If I will apply force at this particular point only and it is not fixed over here, so and no force is created over here, so this alone force is not able to turn the pin. This pin is turned because an equal amount of reaction force is produced over here, and equal amount of reaction force helps this force to create a turning effect. Are you getting it? So what can we do is, we can write it in this way: only one force is not able to produce turning effect in the body. Then what will happen if the body is turned? That means surely a reaction force is created at the pivot point. A reaction force किसका रिएक्शन फोर्स? ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अप्लाइड फोर्स is produced at pivot point. Then what will happen? Then two forces will be there. One is the external force, another is the reaction force which is produced over here. These two forces, they forms a couple. As the name is suggesting, couple means two. These two forces and this reaction force is equal in magnitude. Reaction force किसका? Of external applied force is produced. Reaction force is of same magnitude as that of external applied force, but in opposite direction. but in opposite direction. What is the meaning of this, beta? The meaning of this is, if this is the direction of external applied force, the reaction force is in reverse direction. It is in reverse direction, maybe in this direction. If this is external applied force, action force, and this is reaction force which is produced over here. Now what will be the turning effect of this? If only this is showing you the turning effect, what will be the turning effect of this? If force is created over here, that means it also has to create some turning effect. But the moment of force for this one is 0. Why this is 0? Because the distance, this is line of action of force and this is the pivot point. So value of D will be 0 for this particular force. Because the distance between the line of action of force and the pivot point will be 0. Both are overlapping each other. That means the moment of force due to this, that will be 0. And we are getting only one resultant value for force, that is because of this only. That's why we are able to observe the effect of this only. We are not able to observe the effect of this. We just think if one force is acting over here and it is able to rotate this. But what actually happens? Another reaction force because of this action force produced over here, which is equal in magnitude but in opposite direction, and the moment of force for this reaction force becomes 0 because D will be 0 over here, and hence the resultant force will be because of this external applied force only. But actually what are here? Two forces are here and both these forces are parallel to each other. These two parallel forces equal in magnitude but opposite in direction, they forms a couple. One more thing you need to remember about the couple. These two forces, they should not act along the same line of action. Means both of these forces, they should act at different line of action. If this is the point at which this external force is acting, the line of action for this force is this one. Okay, if this is the reaction force and this is the point at which it is acting, this is line of action of this reaction force. Both line of actions are different. Why I am saying this? Because if both of these forces, say this is reaction force, because of the action force, if action force is applied over here and this is the pivot point, if reaction force is here or action force is this side, then the line of action of force of both the forces will be same, and both the forces are cancelling out the effect of each other and not able to rotate the object, not able to create the turning effect. Right? So that means to define a couple, what we need, how can we write it down? We can write down couple is a pair of forces. Which kind of forces? I'll write down the definition. Two equal and opposite forces two equal and opposite forces, or I can write down two equal and opposite parallel forces, that is more appropriate. Parallel forces not acting along the same line of action of force. Forms a couple. As I told you, couple means two forces, means it's a pair. Okay, two equal and opposite parallel forces means I'm talking about a pair of forces. Two equal and opposite parallel forces, what should be the quality of that? These are equal, these should be opposite in direction as well, not acting along the same line of action of force, forms a couple. If you are not writing this one in your definition, then that time you are not going to get any marks for this, because if both the forces are going to act along the same line of action, then effect will be 0, no turning effect will be produced. Now how can we talk about turning effect of this couple? We can write it as moment of couple. For single force we have written as moment of force, that is turning effect of force. Now I am talking about turning effect of couple, so I am writing turning effect of couple, that means moment of couple. How can we give this moment of couple? That is also given by this formula, either force. Why I am writing either force? Because two forces are acting there, any one force. Why I am writing either force? Because both of they have same value but in opposite direction, so you can substitute any one value over here. Either force into perpendicular distance between two forces. How to find it out? Suppose this is a bar, one force is acting over here, another force is acting over here, and this is the point where this bar is pivoted. Okay, say this point is O, this is point A, this is point B. The force F is acting over here and force F is acting over here. Or you can write it this way also, that gives you more clear. This is F, it is acting in upward direction, and this is F, this is acting in downward direction. This way also you can draw it. How to find out? If we are talking about moment of force, that means we are talking about turning effect of one force. Let us study about turning effect of this, then turning effect of this, then we will talk about the resultant. Okay, so how can we calculate moment of couple? We can find out turning effect of this force. If we are talking about turning effect of this force, that means for that time being we need to leave this. Now what kind of diagram we have? This is the force, this is a pivot point, and suppose this is distance D between these two forces. Okay, so what will be the turning effect of this force? That will be given by force into distance from the pivot point. We are taking only this much to study the turning effect of this force. So this is OA, so I am writing OA here. Okay, we need to talk about moment of couple. We need to talk about moment of couple. So to study about moment of couple, we need to talk about the turning effect of both the forces. This is the second one. To study about the turning effect of this force, we need to leave this one. This is force, and what is the distance from the pivot point? This is OB into OB. The value of force is same because both the forces are equal in magnitude but in opposite direction. So you can write down F, this is OA plus OB. This OA plus OB gives you what? OA plus OB gives you D, that is F into the D. This is what I am saying. This is moment of couple will be given by F into D, that is F is either force, either this one or this one, and D is what? Perpendicular distance between both the forces. This is what I have written over here. This is the formula by which we can calculate moment of couple. What is the SI unit? To write down moment of couple, that is also same. The SI unit of force is Newton. The perpendicular distance is meter. So to calculate moment of couple also we are using the same unit, that is Newton meters. Okay. Now let's talk about few of the examples of couple too. For example, opening and closing of tap. Suppose this is the pivot point and this is the tip of the tap. We are using two forces to open this, to open the tap. How are we using? One force we are applying here, this is in inward direction, means towards me, and another force we are applying with the thumb, that is towards you. Means two forces are there. These two forces are equal in magnitude. Both the sides we need to apply same amount of force. These forces are equal in magnitude but in opposite direction. The force which is applied by the finger, that is towards me, and the force which is applied by thumb, that is towards you. That means both are in opposite direction. This way we are able to open the tap. Okay, same way we can open or close the cap of a bottle. Suppose this is the cap of a bottle. I hold it with the help of thumb and my finger. Thumb I am moving in downward direction, that means the force is applied by the thumb in downward direction and force is applied by the finger in upward direction, and this way I am able to open the cap. Means force is applied at 2 points force is same in magnitude but in different direction, one in downward and one in upward direction. So these are the two common examples which we are observing in our day-to-day life. Some more are there. You can go through those examples and you can find out that two forces are always applied to create the turning effect, or these two forces are known as couple, which are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Now one more thing we are also supposed to discuss in this chapter, that is equilibrium of bodies. Equilibrium of bodies. Now at the starting or in the beginning of the chapter, I discussed when we will apply force on any of the object, if it is not fixed, then it will show translatory motion. If it is fixed at a particular point, that is pivot point, if it is pivoted, then it will show rotatory motion after applying the force. But is it also possible that we are applying number of forces and object is not able to show any translatory or rotatory motion even it is fixed at a particular point? Yes, this is also possible, beta. Or maybe if it is not fixed at a particular point and we are applying number of forces on the object, it is not showing any kind of motion. How it happens? Suppose this is the table and book is lying on the table. It is not fixed at a particular point. No pivot point is there. If I will apply force over here, definitely it will show translatory motion. It will start moving in forward direction. But what if I will apply one more force in this direction? This force is say F in magnitude and this force is also F in magnitude. Both the forces are of equal magnitude but in opposite direction. Means the sum of these forces, the resultant of these forces will be 0 and hence no motion will be produced in the object. Means the body is acted by number of forces more than one, and even after that the body is not able to show any kind of movement. This is same possible with the help with the moving objects also. Means like aeroplane, when it is in motion, it is flying in the sky, then at that time what is happening? Number of forces are acting onto the aeroplane but still it is moving. Which number of forces are there, that we will discuss little later, but number of forces are acting there but still the aeroplane is motion. The birds flying in the sky, number of forces are acting on them but still they are in motion. They cannot be stopped by the action of those forces. So this is also possible that more than one forces are acting onto the body and still the body is not able to change its state of rest or change its state of linear or rotatory motion. At that situation the body is said to be in equilibrium. So we can write down for equilibrium, we can say when a number of bodies, when a number of forces acting on a body are not able to produce any change in its state of rest or of linear or rotatory motion then body is said to be in equilibrium. I'm again reading it. When number of forces acting on a body are not able to produce any change in its state of rest, means initially if the body is at rest, after applying number of forces still it is in rest, the state is not changed, the state of rest is not changed, or of linear or rotatory motion, means if already the body is in motion, after applying so many forces the body remains in motion, means the change of state, the state of motion is not changed. In that situation the body is said to be in equilibrium. Now basically we are talking about two types of equilibrium. One is static equilibrium and another one is dynamic equilibrium. First is static. Static means stationary, means when the object is at rest, it will remain at rest after applying so many forces. When an object is at rest, remains at rest after applying number of forces. This is static equilibrium. Okay, example I have given you for the book. You can talk about any other example. Suppose you are talking about a box lying on a table, you are applying one force from here, one from here, and still the box is not able to move. Or you can talk about this is a circular wheel, this is the pivot point, you are applying force at this point, you are applying force at this point, this is F and this is F, then we are applying force F over here, we are applying force F over here, again we are applying force F over here, we are applying force F over here, we are applying force F here, we are applying force F here. All the forces, they are equal and opposite, equal and opposite, equal and opposite, these two are equal and opposite, these two are equal and opposite. And if you can draw the line of action of force, they are acting along the same line of action of force. When the forces are acting along the same line of action of force, they are cancelling the effect of each other. That means the resultant of forces in this situation also is 0. So if initially this wheel is at rest, this circular body is at rest, still it is in rest even after application of so many forces. So this kind of equilibrium is known as static equilibrium. Okay, now coming on to the second type, that is dynamic equilibrium. Dynamic means if the body is in motion, even if after applying number of forces, it will remain in motion. Dynamic equilibrium, if the body is in motion, is in linear or rotatory, whatever it is in motion, it will remain in motion even after applying number of forces. For example, birds flying in the sky. Okay, if a bird is flying in the sky, or raindrop falling, if bird flying in sky, bird flying in sky. Now how many forces are acting over there? One force, buoyant force, second force, frictional force. These two forces are acting in upward direction, which are able to lift the bird in this position, but simultaneously gravitational force is acting on the body of bird, which is pulling the bird in downward direction. But these three forces, the magnitude of these three forces are approximately equal. And these three forces, these two together and this one, the magnitude of these two together is equal to the magnitude of gravitational force. More or less it is same. And this gravitational force is in opposite direction to those of these two frictional and buoyant forces. Because of same magnitude and opposite directions, these forces are able to hold the bird at this position, and bird keep on flying, means it will remain in motion even after application of more than one forces. Okay, So similar way you can talk about the example of aeroplane, you can talk about the example of raindrop. Raindrop is falling, gravitational forces there, it is attracting the raindrop towards it, buoyant force and frictional forces there to hold the raindrop over there. Okay, so this way number of forces are applied, and even after number of forces the resultant force will be zero because of same magnitude and opposite direction, and hence the body will remain in motion or in rest even after application of number of forces. This is all about your equilibrium. Now what we have learned so far from this equilibrium, what are the conditions required for equilibrium? Conditions for equilibrium of body. The first thing, the resultant of all the forces should be zero. Then only body can be in equilibrium, whether it is in motion or it is in rest. If the resultant force, the sum of all the forces applied onto the body is zero, that means body will remain in the same state as it was earlier, means before the application of forces. So first condition is sum of all the applied forces on body is zero. How can you write it? Summation, that is sigma f, that should be equal to 0. Summation f means sum of all the forces, f1, f2, f3, f4, all the forces, that will be 0. And second thing we can say, algebraic sum of moment of forces. Suppose the body is pivoted at a point and number of forces are acting over there, the earlier one which I have drawn for the circular body, or you can say this is for the road. This is a point, pivot point. One force is acting here, one force is acting here, one is acting here, another one is acting here, one is acting here, another one is acting here. Now sum of algebraic sum of all the moment of forces should be 0. Means these two forces, they are creating which kind of effect? Idhar, and this is also creating this motion, means clockwise. These four forces are creating anti-clockwise motion. When we will add on all these values, when we will talk about the algebraic sum, means we are substituting the value. Suppose this is 5 Newton, this is 5 Newton, this is 2 Newton, this is 2 Newton, this is 2 Newton, this is 2 Newton, or you can say 2 Newton, one more I can write here, this is 2 Newton. Okay, these two are in clockwise direction. That means how can we add on minus 5, because clockwise we are taking as negative, and these 5 are creating anti-clockwise, means plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2 and plus 2. Okay, what will be the algebraic sum? Algebraic sum will be, this is minus 10 and this is plus 10, that will be 0. Means algebraic sum of all the moment of forces applied on a body will be 0. Then also the body will be in equilibrium. It is not necessary the number of forces applied for clockwise motion is same the number of forces applied for anti-clockwise motion. The magnitude, the resultant, or you can say the algebraic sum for all the moment of forces should be 0. Then body can be in equilibrium. So second condition we can write down, the algebraic sum. Algebraic sum means when you are adding the things with their sign. The algebraic sum for all the moment of forces acting on a body about its pivot point is 0. So these are the two conditions. If these two conditions are satisfied, any one of the condition is satisfied by the body, that means the body is in equilibrium. Okay, one more thing is left out in the chapter for the discussion is, that is beta principle of moment of force. Now what this principle of moment of force says, it says the algebraic sum of moment of all the forces acting on the body about the axis of rotation is 0. Principle of moment of forces, what it says, the body is in equilibrium when all the forces which are acting on the body about its pivot point. The moment of force of all the forces, the algebraic sum for all the forces will be 0. How can we write down? If algebraic sum for all the moments of forces acting on a body, where these forces are acting along its pivot point, and what it should be is 0. Or how can we write down? We can write down sum of clockwise moment of force according to principle of moment of force. Sum of clockwise moment of force should be equal to sum of anti-clockwise moment of force. Means whatever is the magnitude for clockwise moment of force, if it is same, exactly same to that of anti-clockwise moment of force, there is no turning effect, there is no change in state of rest or of motion of the object, and this is what principle of moment says. Okay, now what you are supposed to do, beta, you have to read out this chapter thoroughly. If you have any problem, you can ask whenever you feel comfortable, and in next video we will discuss about the examples or numericals of this chapter. Thank you.